So if you were going down the building and pest and the finance route, the next step is you've got to organise your building and pest inspector to go in. Generally, they're maybe a 7 or a 14-day building and pest clause, which means you have to get it done within that time period. So you need to have a good tip is know who you're going to use before. Yep.
Yeah.
And then organise them, and they're getting
before you put a contract for sale in place.
Yeah.
Typically, it's smart to know what solicitor you want to use before you put a contract for sale in place, and your building and pest as well.
And give them a heads up, say, hey, this is what I'm doing. So it's not like, oh, hey, Betty Lou, haven't spoken to you for like 6 years. I just bought a property and I need you to actually get this through within the next 2 days because otherwise I'm going to lose the deal.
Yeah.
Like imagine if someone called you in your profession and was like, I need this really done now. You'd be like,
come on, mate. Yeah.
Give me a break. Well, it would be anyway.
Or pay me an extra, 5-10 grand.
Yeah. Oh, you want that? No worries.
Fast track it.
I'll have to
put all my clients on hold. Yeah.
Yeah. Rambling again, but yeah, do that. Building and pest, organise it, because you want to also you need the time to get the building and pest back. So if you've got that clause in there, that means you can pull out of the deal within whatever days you state.
Say it's a 14-day building and pest, and there's something wrong that you're like, whoa, the slab is going to be split in half soon because of
subsidence.
Yeah.
Cracking in the bricks.
You can pull out.
Yeah. But those days are for you to not only get the building and pest done, get the report back, read the report, and then go back to them with, yes, I'm happy to go ahead, or no, based on this building and pest, and then you renegotiate, your terms, or even the price. So, an example of property I bought where it needed restumping, and we negotiated $30,000 off the contract price that we originally had to restump it, and that was completely fine. You give them the option to say you do it, or we do it. We've got quotes, and that's where it starts coming in that grey area where a lot of people that because they're not in it every day, they might see that and go, whoa.
And just jump out of the deal completely versus like, hey, this is a bit of an opportunity to save a bit of money here.
Yeah, because you get quotes, something is range between, like the whole probably wasn't required restumping, but it was, we got quotes between $20,000 and $25,000. We reduced the price by $30,000. So we'll net ahead by 5 to 10 grand on that one. So it worked out quite well, but that's also a different client, different play. We're doing a subdivision play, going buy, retain, subdivide off, and then you can either look to knock down that property in the next 10 years and build a new one.
Yeah.
There's a whole reasons why you go certain strategies and why you accept certain issues with buildings.
And even in the most basic case, on my WA property, there was something in the roof that needed to be fixed, and it's going to cost about $4 grand. We're like, look, do you want to? You guys can do it, or we'll do it. But whatever way, we're dropping 4K or whatever it is off the price, or we'll settle at the same price if you guys get it done prior to settlement. And if we need to extend settlement, that's totally okay by us. We don't need to rush the deal. We just want to buy a good deal with those issues resolved, right?
Yeah, and your building pest inspector, they're fully they're third party. They get paid to do the report, and they don't care if you buy it or not.
Yeah,
and they're really good.
So good. I think that's so important how it's set up that way.
Yeah, so call them and don't just read the report and be left wondering what if.
If you don't understand it, you need to understand it. It's like anything that you're doing your due diligence on. You should prove that it's a bad investment. If you can't, then you must buy. That's my philosophy. And if there's something about that deal, that property that you don't understand, that's a risk because you don't understand it.
Ignorance. Yes.
Yeah. So understand it.
Yeah. That's
you pay them $500 to $1,000. What's a phone call for 30 minutes to understand something?
But most of them do expect the phone call.
Yeah.
They won't obviously invite it into their life, but it's always good to just call them, understand it, and also refer, get an idea on, what would that cost to fix?
Yeah.
Do you have...
Or who should I get a quote from to get that fixed?
Yeah, and they all have referral networks because that's how they work. That's how most of business in Australia, in my opinion, works is
everywhere.
just talking and knowing good people to deal with,
Mm-hmm.
and then you just refer each other good business. So.
Yeah. You're crazy not to, because those building and pest inspectors that do this every day, they know who's good and who's not good, and they're going to refer people to the best people that they know. It's just like when we refer people to you guys, they're the best, and they're people that we would use on our own properties and our own team, because we know so many different people in the industry.
yeah. Absolutely.
So you're best off trusting that building and pest inspector on where you're going to go away and get that quote, because they're going to be the best roofer in that area.
Generally, I say get 2 to 3 quotes, 3 ideally, and that's with most things.
Stack them up against each other.
Yeah, and then you can also play them off each other if you want to go down that path.
Yeah.
But it's not really playing it off and say, hey, XYZ is doing it for this much, and I prefer to use you. And it's not the biggest thing in business and property that I've come across is never go the cheapest route.
Yes,
because then you pay peanuts, you get monkeys. I believe wholeheartedly in that expression. So
it costs money to fix. It costs you more money in the long run to fix what wasn't done correctly.